Hey guys, ẹ kúlé onílé lóko ẹ dẹ̀ kú dédé àsìkò yìí. So I basically just want to touch on the Èjì Ogbè, the Èjì Ogbè in Ifa at this time in relation to the Caucasians and in relations to Ògún. So I want to talk about the Èjì Ogbè in connection with Caucasians, and then I want to talk about the Caucasians in connection with Ògún. In one verse of Èjì Ogbè, the most common and prominent section of this oral corpus, Òyìnbó, being Caucasians now, are described as Ọmọ Asogundere, which means children of those who made Ògún a statue. High mobility, advanced technology, industriousness, and displays of force are associated with Ògún, and they are observed among Caucasians. At some point in their ancestry, they sought help from Ògún. So you've probably heard this. I mean, it's not even news anymore that everyone originated from Africa, and including the Caucasians. And if I had and still has something to say about that. So the Èjì Ogbè, when the Ifa divination is done, the Èjì Ogbè is the sign that comes out when somebody is about to go to travel, let's say to go on a long journey, or even a short journey, or just relocate, or just leave where they are presently. And it might not just be them, it might be them and their family, or them and some other group of people. Èjì Ogbè is a good sign. When they divine and they get Èjì Ogbè, it's a good sign. It means that the person would be successful, they would prosper, they would even be better than those that they're going to leave behind. Somehow they're going to do really, really well. So when you go to an Ifa priest and maybe you're about to travel, you're about to go to, let's say, Nigeria to do something or whatever, and you get the Èjì Ogbè, they're saying that you're going to do really well over there where you're going. Even if things may be tough now, it will definitely get better. So Èjì Ogbè was the sign that was cast. It was the sign that came out for the Oyinbos, the Caucasians, when they were leaving Africa. Like I said, everyone originated from Africa. So it wasn't that they were black and then they went to Europe and they suddenly became white. If there was something about Europe that makes people white, then everyone would be white. They were already white from Africa. So at that time, Oluorogbo, Oshanla, and Olokun were those that went to Orunmila, and Orunmila did the divination and told them that they would give birth and they would be happy. As a matter of fact, those children would be a source of joy to them, and they're going to do so well, they and their descendants. Orunmila told them that at this time, no white person existed. Orunmila told them that they would do well, and that they should sacrifice 200 she-goats, 200 fish, 200 rats, 200 hens' eggs. I think that was the sacrifice at that time. That they should prepare that for them. That they're going to be, it's going to be a beginning of a different kind of era after those children are born, and they're basically that they're going to do well. So they did the sacrifice, and when these children were born, people were like, oh my God, what kind of children are these ones? I don't even think albinos existed then, or maybe they already existed, but they must have known that they were not albinos, they were just whites. So people were like, oh my God, what is this? People were so shocked. They had never seen anyone like that before. So as they grew up, they noticed that they couldn't stand like too much spiciness. Our food is really spicy. Yoruba people, our food is spicy. They noticed that they could not stand spiciness. They could not do too much work. Like they could not go 12 hours straight working on a farm, for example. They would probably die. So people began to talk bad about them and ridicule them, that they were lazy. Oh, is that white-skinned person? Those lazy brats, that they were lazy and they couldn't do much and they were not strong like the rest. They were weaklings. So all the white people, then they had expanded. They got together and they were speaking Yoruba. Yes, they got together. They spoke to one another and they said, look, we are going to have to leave this place if we want to succeed. These people are making jest of us. We can't live with them with the way they're behaving and discriminating against us somehow. They're not making our lives hard, but somehow they are making it hard by making fun of us. So then they went back to Orunmila to consult, and I think Orunmila told them to make another offering, and say if they wanted to migrate, they could, but that they should do the sacrifice that they needed to do, and all will be well wherever they decided to move to, whether it was whatever part of Europe or whatever. That those who are making fun of them now and making jest of them and saying, oh, they're too whitish and they're too this, are going to spend a fortune to go to their land in the future, like a lot of money. So at that point, they did the sacrifice, and they did whatever they needed to do. They probably went to Ògún at that time. I'm not sure if this is included in this part in Èjì Ogbè. I don't want to say whatever is not included in Èjì Ogbè, but I'm going to say this. At some point, they must have gone to Ògún. Maybe Ògún was one of the, especially being the deity of hard work and labor and war and all that stuff, to beg him to help them, to give them ideas. Like, they not being as strong, or they not being like the strongest people ever at that time, they not being able to stand Pepe or stand, and life is easier now. They had to do so much to survive. Back then they had to fight wild beasts. It was just a lot of work each day. So they must have gone to Ògún to say, look, help us, we don't know how we're going to survive. Teach us how to make our work easier, basically. So Ògún must have done that. Ògún must have helped them at that point. So Ògún is the Yoruba deity of war, labor, iron, civilization as we know it, tools, anything that has to do with work or like force, anything of that nature. So obviously that is why Caucasians have been able to create, lots of technology, and they've been able to do much with iron and everything that Ògún is about, basically. But no one so far amongst them, well, maybe some people have, I don't know, I shouldn't generalize, have gone back to touch base with Ògún to say thank you for helping us in the first place. Teach us how to use this properly and how to not destroy this planet with these tools, with access to nuclear energy, or like access to guns, and teach us how to not destroy ourselves with it. So if you are woke, I don't like to use the term woke often because there's just a general popular culture thing about it that makes it not what it is. But if you're woke, in quotes, you would notice that sometimes, okay, for example, the internet, your laptop, your phone, how you're watching me, this platform is associated with Ògún. Sometimes it could make you reclusive. It could make you become a loner if it is not properly managed. It could make you an introvert. Like Ògún was somehow introverted, especially being like this very hardworking Virgo-like person. It was like that. So you would notice, or if you pay really close attention, even to just the use of the internet alone, it could make you reclusive. It could make you, if you study Ògún's energy in relation with any sort of technology, you would notice that, like, even with the use of guns, with anger, with temper, Ògún had a bit of a temper, with killing, with violence, with everything needed for violence, and just Ògún's energy is everywhere. All you need to do is just pay attention to these things. People use their laptops for work, obviously work, Ògún, definitely. People vent their anger on the internet. All Ogu. So paying attention helps. So many centuries after their ancestors left Ile-Ife, they came back in impressive ships with advanced technology that they were prepared to use in service of and against the Yorubas. So obviously slavery, all that bad stuff happened. I don't know if that was predicted in the. I have to learn Ifa at this point. I feel like there's just too much information that I don't know, that I have to know. But that's the brief, that one part of the of the Èjì Ogbè that I know, that I've stated, that I've explained. So this happened. If you notice, I find it interesting because look at them. Look at the black person flogging the other black person, and the master is just sitting down and watching. They were even too lazy to flog, or maybe not too lazy to flog, but just look at this. This happened when, obviously, we know the famous story of the slaves fighting back. We know about in the instance of the 18th revolution, we know that Ogun was called Ogun, known as Ogu in 80, was called upon and invoked so the war could favor the slaves. You have to do your research. This really happened. So obviously, with Ogun being the Orisha of the tools required for war, and therefore war itself and labor and all that stuff, it was obvious that they could not have conquered without Ogun. And as a matter of fact, Ogun was a very vital deity in just like freedoms and revolutions, and when they occurred, whether in America or in Brazil or Cuba or anywhere, or even Haiti or even Trinidad and Tobago, Ogun did a lot as far as getting freedom is concerned. And yes, Ogun got justice for many people, and he still gets justice for them. I'm just going to leave it at that. So there is a lot of stuff that need attention, that there's a lot of knowledge to be acquired I don't think any religious text can stand beside Ifa. Like how much info it has. It's not like even the Bible that you just go and read. Most of it is oral, but it's quite deep and it's quite enlightening. So I hope this has encouraged you to seek for more knowledge and not just, cage yourself in any religious box and choose not to acquire any other information and just be there ignorant. I hope this video has encouraged you not to be that way. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. If you'd like to help this channel, to donate to this channel, these are the links. I'm looking to get a new laptop and just make everything better, I guess. So whatever funds I acquire would help me do so. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.